I am the big tank.
On the battlefield of life, nothing's harder than a tank. Yeah, have you ever met a man, hearts full of love, bigger than a tank?
Big tank.
He served in a few wars, he's a veteran that stands for a cause. For the best interviews and news, just keep it glued to the
Tank. I
tank.
am the tank. Big
Big
tank.
Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Big Tank Talk. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing to those of you that don't know him, my friend, Mr. Soggy Pillow, whom I'll refer to here on out as Jimmy. Jimmy, welcome to Big Tank Talk.
Thank you.
Okay, first question is always the same. Tell us a little bit about you and how you came to be on Clapper.
Oh, all right. So me, I live in Boston. I'm just about 50, and sorry, my throat is dry. And I don't know. I came on Clapper because I used to be on TikTok years ago. I already knew how to go live and all that stuff, so I figured it's another app I can try out. So it was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, just before I had surgery. I remember that, and then I started being more active once I had my surgery because I had a lot of time to hang out and do nothing for 3 months. So,
Okay. I'm going to start with one of Strawberry Spice's questions because she couldn't be here. What if you was to become a millionaire? What would be your biggest passion that you'd pursue?
shit. That's a good question. My biggest passion. Well, definitely, I would want to definitely travel someplace and then probably live in another freaking country. To be honest, I love it here, but at the same time, who doesn't want to retire and fucking just like live the rest of your life without having to worry about anything?
Yeah,
I
that
can't.
would be nice.
I can't say that I would donate it to anything of purpose because I don't know that yet. It's never happened to me. So that's a quick question right there that I can't really answer. It's weird.
Welcome in, Bugs. Better late than never. You know that. So I
That's a tough
appreciate
one.
you showing up. Um, being from the Boston area, what would you say is the ultimate New England food?
Probably lobster. A lot of people like lobster over here. Chowder, clam chowder. Are you trying to get me to talk with my accent? That's what this is, huh?
No, it's a
Oh,
legitimate
okay.
question.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, about like those things are go-tos, roast beef sandwiches on the North Shore. That's a thing. Roast beef sandwiches on a big onion roll with sauce, mayonnaise, and cheese. I don't do the mayonnaise though.
Right? Um, do you have? Are they like local breweries there?
Yeah, Sammy Adams. I believe Harpoon has one here. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're considered local. We do have a lot of microbreweries. Brewery. Oh my god, breweries. And I don't know the names of them because I don't drink often at all. Well, not anymore, that's for sure. But there's a lot of them now.
All right. Paul wants to know, where does your passion for photography come from?
When I was in high school, I learned that they had a photography class, and growing up in the mid 80s to early 90s, that was like we didn't have cell phones and all that shit. You know what I mean? And I used to
I
see
do.
guys going around town with their cameras, and photography was a cool thing. We weren't walking around recording things back then. We were taking pictures. But my father used to have a really nice camera, and I used to like doing graffiti when I was like in my teens. So I ended up going and taking pictures of that. That's what started me out on it. And then I dropped it, and I was scared to pursue it in high school because I didn't want to be the nerd that takes pictures.
I
So
understand.
now, as an adult, after my issues, I'm trying to live my fucking life and just like enjoy myself. Who cares what they think, right?
Absolutely. I don't care what people think. I never really have. Ted wants to know, is it true that you have aspirations to become a gynecologist, but your hands are too small?
Correct. Look how skinny my fingers are. They're too small for that kind of shit. They need to be stretched open correctly. I can't do that.
All right. I'll get to your question in a minute, Gorilla. To follow up on Paul's question, a question from Strawberry Spice: what is your dream photography location?
I'm already living in it. But I would say, other than here, Tokyo and other parts of Japan, because they really have really. My thing is, I like straight lines. That's what I'm always
Right.
looking for. I'm looking for evenness, things like that. I do take pictures of all kinds of shit, but I love like paths, streets, roads, things like that, and I want to get a distance picture.
So does that mean the way Boston's laid out appeals to you as a photographer?
Yes, as a what do they call it, a street photographer. Yes,
Yeah,
that's always been my passion. Now that I moved a little bit away from the city, I have to turn it around and find other things, other mediums. You know what I mean? It's not easy.
I understand.
Yeah,
Vanilla Gorilla wants to know if you're related to Anton LaVey.
no, and I happen to know who that is. Thank you very much. I know who that is, and yes, I kind of do look like him, huh?
Before I ask Crow's question, are you married?
I used to be.
All right. His question was if you walked in on your current wife cuddled with another man, what would you do?
Wait, who asked that?
Crow.
Crow. Crow. What the fuck? Come on, man. What would you do, Crow? That's the question. What the fuck? What do you think I would do? I congratulate him and pack my bags and leave.
Chat. I have to ask this. Have you ever actually eaten a Boston cream pie, and what do you think of them?
Yeah, of course. I eat Boston cream pies all the time. I love them. I'm not big on the texture of creamy stuff, but I like a Boston cream pie, especially a Boston cream donut because you can hold it in your hand and just eat it. Yeah.
That's my favorite kind of donut, so I got to agree with you there.
Fun fact: the Omni Parker House is a hotel in Boston where the Boston cream pie was invented, and Ho Chi Minh from Vietnam
Right.
was actually fucking working there at one point. And I guess he went to school out here too.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
I don't know
cool.
too much about it, but hey, that's a history fact right there.
So Val says, "Thank you, Jimmy, for the best ever D&D I had. Tell the people what we were doing."
Well, you want me to tell people what we were doing?
Yeah, she
Oh,
said, "Tell people what you were doing."
I was all right. So I was showing her some history in Boston, basically where JFK was born, the house he was born at, and grew up a little bit. But I put it into D&D because I wasn't trying to go live and show everybody because she requested to see it one day, and I'm like, I happen to be in the area, so let me show her. I couldn't go inside; they were closed, but I went outside and all that shit. I just didn't want people interfering in the live and asking stupid questions and all this other stuff because I'm not well versed in the history of it, of his
Right.
house and all that. But I just know where it is, and they had signs there and stuff like that. But I will go back there one of these days when they're open, though.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Bob wants to know if you could go back in time, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
yeah. Start saving money sooner. Definitely, that would be it.
All right. Ronan asks, he says, this is not a loaded question. Do you like typo negative music?
What is that?
Ronan?
Type O negative music?
Okay, we'll come back to that. While he's typing a response, Crow asks, what's your favorite video game if you have one?
Growing up, it was Space Invaders for Atari 2600. And then after that, my ultimate favorite is Tomb Raider, the Lara Croft series, starting from PS1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if they have it on 5.
And Ronan's response was, typo negative is a band, so never mind.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Paul wants to know, why do you have so many fake penises? Are you trying to make up for something we don't know?
No, it just started out as a joke with the wooden one, and then I just got more as it became a thing. I just
Vanilla
like
Gorilla,
whipping them on camera.
Vanilla Gorilla wants to know, does the name Soggy Pillow come from drooling on your pillow or some other bodily fluid?
Okay, so funny you should ask that today of all days. I went to Walmart and bought some new pillows because I do drool and sweat in my sleep. And I do wash them, but the thing is, also have this other thing where it's like, even though it's washed, I know that there was drool in there and sweat, and it bothers me. So I get rid of them every once in a while and buy new ones. But that's basically it. Started when I was like 12 or 13. It was given
Okay.
to me by it was given to me by someone that name.
Okay. Lynn Ben Lady wants to know: do you really have your pencil pierced?
Do I really have it pierced? I've never said I had it pierced. What the fuck? No, it's not pierced. Come on, Lynn.
Okay. Um, being from where you are you a Red Sox fan?
Yes.
And what was it like going for so many years without winning a World Series?
It sucked, but it was great at the same time. You know why? Because I got to see Roger Clemens pitch his fucking rookie year in 1985. I think I paid about $4 to get in the stadium, some shit like that. Sat in the bleachers. I watched a shitload of games. Wade Boggs, all those fucking guys, Jim Rice, all those guys from that era. I got to see them. You know what I mean? So I would say it was great. Nobody wanted to go to a
Right
ball
on.
game.
Do you appreciate the history of Fenway Park?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not a Red Sox fan. I grew up an Orioles fan. Now I'm a Royals fan. But um, Fenway Park is historic, and if you're a baseball fan, you got to appreciate it.
Also,
Um,
sorry, go ahead.
uh, Go ahead. I was going to just
Oh,
ask the next question.
I wasn't just a Red Sox fan. I mean, I am a home team fan. Okay, don't get me wrong. But my favorite player is from the Kansas City Royals, George Brett. You know what I mean? He was an
Oh,
excellent player back in the 80s and 70s. Also, the Orioles, that's one of my favorite teams too, because you had the Ripkins on there. You know what I mean? It was a great
my
team.
favorite player of all time is Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah, I have
So,
his rookie card over here somewhere. I got his brother's rookie card, the one that says "fuck face" on the bottom of the bat.
oh
So
yeah,
yeah, I got it graded. It's actually legit. So that's one of my
awesome.
favorite cards.
Right. Crow wants to know if you have a problem with people that react to the fact that you're from Boston.
Do what? Wait, do you have a problem when people react to that you're from Boston?
Probably if they react negatively or to your accent of being from Boston.
So yeah, a lot of people will ask me to say "park the car in Harvard Yard," okay, because there's so many R's in that sentence. It's kind of like a bullshit thing that people always try to get you to say for some reason once they find out where you're from. And then I always come back with, well, you can't park your car there because it's a fucking quad. You walk through it, right? So it's like students live there. There's also some buildings like a library and stuff like that. You can't drive there, literally. And I'll show people on camera. Look, see that wall right there? That's Harvard Yard, you dick. you know. But yeah, things like that aggravate me. But at the same time, it makes me proud to be from where I am. So because people recognize it, that's the thing.
Bugs wants to know: bald by nature, by choice, or both?
First by choice. Started doing it when I was about 16, and then noticed I was going bald in my mid 20s, and now it's because I have to.
You're a Red Sox fan. I have to ask you: uh, is the chant "Yankees suck" still relevant?
Not really. I haven't heard it in a while. You got to remember, we got a whole new generation of people going to the park. So
Right.
yeah, these are people that would not have lasted when I was going because people were swearing, spitting, all these things before. Now it's just you get one hooligan in the crowd really now. You know what I mean?
And I have to ask: I'm sure you have in your time. What is it like sitting in the Green Monster?
So I've not sat on the Green Monster.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For me, I don't want to be that high up. I would rather see the game in front of me. But I have been up there. I went on a tour up there with my son when he was really small, and we got
Right.
to sit there and check it out. But it wasn't during the game. It was kind of cool though.
That's cool. All
Yeah.
right. Paul's question: where does your Portuguese heritage come from?
My parents, they both moved here from the Azores off the coast of Portugal back in
So both
the
sides,
60s.
mom and dad.
My mom and dad, yes. I'm a first
Hey,
generation son.
Bugs wants to know: are there any mini Jimmys in this world, and if so, how many?
Yeah, I got one. I got a picture of him somewhere, but I don't know. It's not recent. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I'd have to go digging through my phone. But yeah, I have one. He's 23. He's actually a good looking
Oh,
guy.
right on. All right. You're a home team fan, so you're a Celtics fan.
I'm a
So
Celtics
my
fan back in the 80s when Larry Bird used to play for them. But right now, I don't really watch basketball or football.
do you believe Larry Bird was the greatest to ever play the game?
No, I believe he's one of. And it's just very significant because most, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but most of the ball players are fucking black and they're really good. And he's
Yeah.
white. And you don't see that too much in basketball where a white player is so dominating. You know what I mean?
And the greatest trash talker in the history of the NBA.
That too. Yeah.
I grew up a Lakers fan, so
Right.
obviously I'm not a big fan of Boston Celtics, but I
Yeah.
would say Larry Bird is one of the top, maybe top three in the
Yeah.
history of the game.
That's my kid real quick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It kind of looks like me, I guess.
He does. He definitely looks like you. Um, I would ask you this question, but I can't pronounce the cities they want me to ask you how you pronounce. I know one is Gloucester.
Yeah. Gloucester.
Um,
Hold it up to the screen if you.
it's my computer screen. It'd be a big pain in
Oh, yeah.
to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I'll spell the name out. You pronounce it Worcester
Worcester.
and Leicester.
Leicester.
Yep.
Leicester. I can't even say that name. That's out near me, actually.
It was the name of I pronounce it Leicester because I lived on a street spelled the same way.
Oh, okay.
Um, Kevin wants to know. Uh, he says, "We know you love soccer. Which team do you like watching in the UK?"
So I don't watch any teams in the UK. If I watch it, it's usually I'm in the USA, Kevin. You don't know, like I just fuck with you. I don't watch any teams that play out of the UK. I just don't. Sometimes I can get it on my TV, but I don't particularly watch any particular teams from the UK.
Lynn, I'm glad you can hear. Um, uh, this is a question I got. I've been researching Massachusetts. What is your strategy for finding a parking spot in the North End?
There ain't one. You just don't bring your fucking car there. You can't do it, man. And if you do find a spot, you're gonna get some fucking dude coming down. Hey, oh, this is my parking spot. I've been living here for 35 years. Blah blah blah. So yeah, you better off just leaving it somewhere else.
Okay.
No strategy.
Um, how many times have you been stuck behind a salt truck?
Maybe once or twice, because I know not to stay behind them too close. So I mean, as far as going down the highway, sometimes they'll have a line of them, and they'll be like set up like this, and the next ones, and then you can't pass them. So it all depends. Like you'll be fucked on the highway.
Understood. Bugs wants to know: did you have sex with a Martian? Because you have green spots on your ceiling.
Yes. That's actually his green spots, not mine.
Ted wants you to try to explain rush hour in Boston.
You know, I didn't understand that term rat race until my mid adulthood because I used to take the bus and train a lot. It literally is a rat race, bunch of people scattering about. That's rush hour. Rush hour in Boston is not rush hour. It's like rush hours with an S. It gets pretty bad because it's an old city. It wasn't designed for that kind of fucking traffic. Um, yeah, there's just like you can't change the infrastructure of it because the way everything is now, it's too much to change. Like rush hour, it sucks. It's horrible. You could be stuck there for hours.
Yeah. Paul wants
Like
to know if there are many
yeah,
places in Boston you avoid.
what places in Boston do I avoid?
Yeah.
Touristy
Or are there
places.
many?
Yeah, touristy places. People ask you questions, then you got to freaking answer them because you got to be nice, right? You know what I mean? And it just takes up a lot of your time. And we're in a rush. We don't want to stop for anything. You know what I mean?
I do understand that.
Yeah.
American Truth came in. He wants to know: do you think a Boston accent is different than New York accent?
Yes. I do. I have friends from New York, and theirs is more like when they say New York, they say New York, New York, or something like that. I got friends from New Bedford who talk like they're from New York. So
Right.
yeah, it's weird.
Um, a word I heard a lot when I went to Boston while I was in the Navy Reserves. What is a grinder to you?
I've heard of it as being a sub. We call it a sub, not a grinder, like a sandwich.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Bugs
I've
wants
heard
to
that
know,
too.
is the old homes architecture as detailed as they are in San Francisco homes?
Yes, in some areas, yes. San Francisco has beautiful architecture, though. The buildings, even the wood buildings, like the 3 stories over there, beautiful. We have some places like that in Boston, scattered about different designs and shit.
Okay. Have you ever walked the Freedom Trail?
Yes, but not on purpose.
Oh,
Not on
that
purpose.
sounds like a story there. Explain that.
No, no, it's just it's everywhere. So they actually have a red line on the ground that you follow, and it
Right.
gives you different points of interest. But that's why I say not on purpose, because like you do it all day, every day, and not realize it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
very small city.
do you actually know anyone that went to Harvard?
Yes.
It's not such an unreasonable question. So,
No, that's a good
um,
question. I actually grew up 2 blocks away from Harvard and 2 blocks away from MIT, so I was actually right in the middle. So
wow,
I,
that's a lot
I
of brain. That's a lot of brain power right around you.
yeah, exactly. That's my neighborhood. I
Oh,
actually work in that neighborhood as well, so I'm there every day.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Len asked if you was to marry somebody from the UK, who would it be, and would you move there?
it would be Lynn, and yes, I would move there. We would have a wedding on the side of a cliff in the wintertime, and after we say our dues or whatever, she'd accidentally slip on the edge of that fucking ice.
All right, here's one of the favorite questions I found when I was getting ready for your interview. What would you say is the one thing people always get wrong about Massachusetts?
The one thing that people get wrong about Massachusetts. Uh, okay, they think we're all rich up here. A lot of people think we have money because it's an expensive state to live in, when the actual fact is we're all struggling. It's our government that fucks us. I don't like to talk about government, but I mean, it's a very strong democratic state, and they're
Yep.
all corrupt within their own little cities, and we get fucked left and right, taxes, everything. It's
Yep.
insane.
So, Truth wants to know red or white clam chowder.
White. Red clam chowder is from Manhattan, right? And that's Manhattan clam chowder. I'm all set with that shit. In fact, I had clam
White,
chowder
that's
on
New England
Friday.
clam chowder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
don't eat
we're
clam
white.
chowder, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Uh, so if you were to move to another state, which state would it be and why? And do you think you'd eventually move back?
So I've always thought about leaving here, and I had an opportunity to move down to Louisiana back in the early 2000s, but I didn't move because I had a child, and I wanted to be around my kid. I mean, granted, I could have moved in and just traveled to see him, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted to raise him. You know what I'm saying? So
I do.
I didn't go down. And my friend who moved down there, he's doing very well. He's got 2 properties, and he's always telling me, "Oh, you should move down here, blah blah blah. I'll help you get started." But I mean, I'm 49 years old now. It's just like I would, but I probably wouldn't come back. So,
Right. Tina wants to know, that's Painted Memories. Who's your favorite artist?
as far as paintings,
I'm sure it's, yeah, because she's a painter.
oh, I like Picasso. Um, I like what's this guy's name? He cut his ear off.
Rembrandt? No,
No,
Van Gogh, Vincent Van
Van
Gogh.
Gogh. Van Gogh. I like some of his stuff because we painted Starry Night. That's Van Gogh, right?
I believe
So
so. Tina would know for sure.
one day on Clapper, we had a live. My friend, where Strawberry Spice. We all had a live, and we were painting Starry Night. Actually, I got the painting up on my wall over here above my bed. But I like that kind of stuff too. I
Right.
don't know what you call that, abstract, or I don't even know.
Tina would be the one to ask about that. I don't either. Ted
It's,
wants to know which area makes the best clam chowder.
I mean, I never looked at it like that. I think all that clam chowder up here. What do you mean, which area? Because like New York has a clam chowder, and then we have our own. But over here, it's all up and down the New England coast.
Right. Um, what is the coolest thing about Massachusetts that most people don't know about?
The coolest thing about Massachusetts, we're pretty much the birthplace of this fucking country, in a sense. The revolution started here, right? So I feel like not a lot. You got to come here for the history. That's what it is. A lot of people don't know about the amount of history we have here, the old buildings, the old slave church, everything. We have a lot of shit here. It's insane. Tea Party, I know where that is exactly too. Everything. I find Boston boring because I grew up around this stuff. So when people
Right.
ask me what should I see in Boston, I don't know what to tell them because I've seen it all multiple times. So it's just like it's hard for me to say what you would enjoy.
The only thing I would add to that is because I've been to Boston a few times, uh, people are a lot nicer, a lot friendlier than they get credit for.
That too. I mean, we can ignore people, but at the same time, we will try to help you out. You know what I mean? So then that some of the stuff I'm saying is pretty much on point.
Oh, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
disagree, but
Who's
this is
been
for
there?
us
Yeah.
to enlighten the rest of Clapper. That's
Oh
why I
yeah,
asked you this
yeah.
question.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, you've been there, so you've obviously seen what I'm talking about.
Some of it, yes.
Yeah.
Truth wants to know if that painting is on your ceiling.
Which painting on my ceiling?
I guess the one you were referring to.
Oh, it's on my wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
He also asked, what do you call those funny looking donuts?
What funny looking donuts.
Yeah, Truth, you're gonna have to elaborate on that question, brother. Thing I like about New Yorkers and Bostoners that I've met, Ronan, is they're genuine people. Whether you like them or you don't, they're going to be who they are, and they're authentic in that. And that's one thing I like about them.
Oh, you had donuts out here. What did you say about the donuts?
He just said, "Hold on, I had him out there." He hasn't said anything more about it.
What do you call those funny looking donuts called? Funny looking donuts. What, the Dunkin' donut? The one that we dunk, it has like a little handle on it? Or are you talking about the
Truth,
fruit?
I don't typically bring other people up during a live, brother. I'm sorry. During an interview, during my other lives, I do, but in an interview, it's usually just me and the person I'm interviewing. So I apologize for that. Okay. Um, your thoughts on Plymouth Rock?
I remember seeing it a couple times as a child. We used to take field trips out there. They have a whole plantation out there where people play role play the part for the pilgrims and stuff like that. I don't think that's the true rock, in my opinion, because it doesn't look like it's something that you would hit with a freaking ship. It's not that big. You know what I mean? I don't know what to think of it.
Would,
I think it's gimmicky.
would you say it's a disappointment, but not what it's cracked up to be?
What, the rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that pun. But yeah, it's not what it's cracked up to be. I mean, have you seen it?
No,
Okay.
no, this is just part of me researching. I told you it can be a lot of
Yeah.
questions about where you're from. So
Yeah.
Paul
Well,
wants
we
to
have a
know
lot
what's
of.
a saying that you typically use or hear that nobody else does.
What's the thing that I usually hear that no one else does? What's a saying that you typically use or hear that no? Oh, like bang a Yui. When you do a U-turn, we call it banging a Yui. You don't hear too many people talking like that anymore. And yeah, another one is wicked. You don't hear people talking like that anymore. This is like a lot of our language is getting lost. Not our language, but our accents getting lost because there's a lot of transplants moving into Boston. Hence the young yuppies, you know what I mean? And they're all moving from different states with their own accents and their own culture. So pushing people out of the city slowly, and everybody's losing their accents and all that shit. Reason why mine is still strong because I just moved out of the Boston area last year. So, and I'm 49, so I've been here a long time.
I understand that. So is wicked a word you still use quite a bit?
Sometimes, not as much. Only with people that I know are local. If that makes
Right.
any sense, you know what I mean?
I do. Um, Wegmans or Whole Foods?
Those are both yuppie stores. If I had to go to both, either one of them, I would probably go to Whole Foods.
Okay. Um,
He said Shaw's. No, Market Basket.
where's the best place in Boston to get a sub?
Best place in Boston to get a sub. Oh man. There's a place called Capone's. There used to be Al Capone's or whatever. Anyways, you get like a large sub, looks like two actual large subs. It's the bread is big. So what we'll do is we'll order it. It's only $2 more than the regular small. You
Right.
order it and you have two sandwiches. You have lunch and dinner. So I would say
That makes sense
Capone's.
to me.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And you can get
Graham
them
wants
as
to
different
know.
sandwiches.
Graham wants to know if you ever had a real fight in the mean streets of Boston.
Yes, plenty. And I got my ass kicked plenty of times as well. I'm not a tough guy, but I hold my own if I have to, even if it means running. I've been through a lot of shit. Yes.
Hey, I'll tell you the truth, Jimmy. A lot of times running is the smartest thing to do.
Exactly. You don't want to be in a bad situation, you know?
Karen, Rocking Horse 13 asks, is Salem haunted?
No, nope. That's all a myth. Those witches that they claim were witches were accused innocent people, in my opinion. But everybody has their own opinions, and it's a gimmick. That's why I stay away from Salem as much as possible. Thank you for the diamonds,
Okay. Um,
Gracie.
when you're behind the wheel, do you become a masshole?
Yes, I
How
have
much
proof
of
of
a
it.
masshole are you?
Oh my god, I've been live at times, and I was pretty bad. If my friend Strawberry was in here, she could tell you because she was in my live at those times where it got to the point where I was calling people cunts and screaming out the window and at them and getting into real arguments. And I would back up on them and some of the people on the street and they take off on me or they'll sit there and clam up and shit because they don't expect you to stop, you know? Most people will stop
Right.
and then take off, but not me. I stop and fucking I'll get out or something, you know? Not that I'm tough, but I'm an asshole. So I just want you
No,
to know you're wrong. You know what I mean?
no problem.
Yeah.
Um, Paul wants to know, are there any places that still have mafia roots?
I mean, yes, but you don't see them acting like that, like they're doing anything anymore. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not a big thing anymore, but there's still some old people around.
Okay. Um, in Boston or in Massachusetts generally, is it a cellar or a basement?
I mean, it depends on what area you're in. We used to call it a cellar. Here I've said basement here. I don't know why, but yeah, we usually typically say cellar, I guess.
Okay. Um, now Tina would like to know, who is your least favorite artist?
Probably myself. No, I don't have a least favorite because I'm not an artist. I don't follow every artist there is. But I will say you don't like Warhol? You guys, that's your least favorite? I thought Warhol was pretty good actually. I kind of like his style, even though he's kind of weird. I like weird shit. I don't know. Um, the Mona Lisa I heard was only an 8 by 10 photo, basically. Not photo, but painting. Is
Right.
that true? I heard it's only like this big.
Mona Lisa? I don't know. Never
Yeah.
actually seen it in person. So,
She said yes. That's true. Yeah.
oh,
That's
there you
insane.
go.
See, I didn't even
Ronan
know
says
that.
there's a
So
place in
friends,
Ronan says there's a place in Florida near Davenport that's haunted as fuck.
okay, so Well, why are we talking about hauntings? Oh, Salem. So actually, about 10 miles from my house where I live now is Gardner, Massachusetts. There's a house there called the S.K. Pierce House. Look it up if you guys are really interested in this. They were featured on one of those ghost shows, the guy with the black hair, and I forget his name, but they actually confirmed that place as being haunted, and you can go visit it. They have like tours and all that stuff. It's about $35, but I haven't done it yet. I want to check it out.
All right. Graham asks, would you like to take some Banksy pics?
Yes, I would like to take Banksy pics.
All
Do
right.
you
For my
have
benefit, explain what that is.
Banksy is an artist from the UK. He's known for doing like street art, like he does like spray paintings or stencils and things of that nature. And he's
Okay.
become so popular that people preserve a piece of a building just to keep that art. I don't know a whole lot about him, but that's what I do know.
You have any ancestors that came over on the Mayflower?
No, my parents moved here straight from the Azores.
How do you feel about Salem still being referred to or considered a witch city?
Well, I kind of expressed my opinion on that already, kind of, if you think about it. I don't think it's that. I think it's gimmicky.
Yeah. What is your state bird?
I don't know. It's a good question. I should know that.
Just that just popped into my head, so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I should know that though. And no, I don't like cats.
Oh, that answers that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even see it pinned. I'm sorry. I was looking down in the comments.
That's okay if the pinning is for my benefit, so I don't miss the questions. Ever had Kelly's roast beef?
Of course. That's one of the best out here. But they're not as good as Mike's. Mike's roast beef is the best. It's near the new casino in Everett.
My next question was going to be to ask if it's worth it or overrated.
It's overrated. Definitely overrated. It's a state. It's a classic in the area, but it's overrated. Go to Mike's.
Ted wants to know what you'd like to say to your haters.
Keep it coming. I love it. I love this shit. You're showing me attention, and that's what you want. So I'll just let you do it.
Now, being from that area, you a fan of hockey?
I used to be when I was a child, but not so much now. But if I had to go with a team, of course, I'd have to go with the Bruins, right? I mean, I'm a
I,
hometown guy, so
yeah, you did say you were a home team
yeah,
fan, so I expected that. Tina would like to know how you feel about pineapple on pizza.
no, it doesn't belong on it.
Well,
I'll
that's
eat it.
definitely a love or hate thing because
Yeah.
I love pineapple on pizza.
So
Um,
I will eat it, but I don't prefer it. I cringe when I think about it sometimes.
Lynn wants to know red or green bins.
Um, red. I like red bins. Oh, look at that. There's a Lynn in here. Look, Lynn, it's evil Lynn. I like fucking with my friends, by the way. It's banter.
That's okay. So if you could travel and actually leave the United States, what places would you like to see and why?
Like I mentioned before, Japan would definitely be one place. I'd like to see the streets there and take pictures of the little alleys and such. And their forests are beautiful. And somewhere else, not related to photography, would be probably. I think it's what's it called? New Zealand. Is that the country that's just above Australia?
Yep.
Yeah, that place. I'd like to check that place out. Someone was talking about it on here recently. It sounds like a nice place.
Right on. I've been to Italy, and truthfully, if you're a fan of photography, Italy would be a great place to visit for that reason.
Oh, I believe it. I think anywhere in Europe would be a good place. It's a lot of history,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. Graham says he knows a great hotel for reasonable prices in a Banksy hot zone in Manchester. So Graham is a travel agent too.
Oh yeah, he's also my doctor, believe it or not.
So Ted asked, have you been to Portugal or Europe in general?
No, I haven't. I've had many opportunities to go because my family still lives there. I just haven't. And I actually been recently thinking about getting dual citizenship. So, because I can get citizenship there based off of my bloodline, and I can get a passport from there as well. So it would make it easier for me. I can fly to Brazil with my American passport, and then when I'm in Brazil, I can use my Portuguese passport and not have to have a visa. So it's great.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, things like that I would use it for.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it in Paul's live earlier. I actually would qualify if I wanted to get dual citizenship for Italy and the United States.
There you go.
Um, my
My
grandmother
son
was
actually
born in
qualifies as well, but after my son, they don't qualify.
right. My grandmother was born in Sicily, so I qualify because she was,
Yeah,
born there.
you do.
Paul
Yeah,
wants to know who you think's going to win the World Cup.
Portugal. That's who I want to win. Um, because I honestly believe if I don't see Ronaldo, if Ronaldo doesn't get it for us this time, right? I don't think I'm going to see it in my lifetime because if ever we had a chance, it would have been with a player as such. You know what I mean? But he's so fucking selfish. And he only plays for team, not for country. You know what I mean? Like his regular teams, he'll play his heart out, but for the country, he never does. So I want them to win, ideally. Kevin thinks USA.
I don't. I'm always amazed to find out the World Cup's going on. That tells you how much I follow it.
Yeah.
Um, how are the beaches up there in the Northeast?
They're all right. We have beaches in like Gloucester, of course. It's called the New Harbour Beach, where the waves that they're huge, um, and it's cold as fuck. So that's a really good beach. And there's one right next door in Rockport. You have to be a resident to park there, but we know people in the area, so we just park our car at their house and then take their car down to the beach. But that would be the kind of pebbly beaches like with rocks, but they're beautiful.
Do you have a favorite place to visit within your state other than Boston, or you just a homer in that respect as well?
I mean, it's not so much that there's a favorite place. There's different little spots that I like to go to and just like clear my mind. And a lot of it happens to be in Boston. You can find solitude there. These little pockets are quiet, but
Right.
nowhere outside of Boston, I would say. I grew up in the city. That's what I like. So
Ted wants to know from which family member did you get your sense of humor?
probably my Uncle Tibbs. He's kind of a joker.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, Karen wants to know what's your biggest pet peeve on Clapper.
I used to have big pet peeves. Now I let things just roll off my shoulders. I was what's the word I'm looking for? I was obsessed with doing original content, calling people out on their bullshit and all this stuff, not realizing that I first came on here to have fun, not become what I became. And now
Right.
it's more or less I'm just trying to have fun and I'm doing what I want to do and I'm not bothered by anything now.
That's a good way to be too.
Yeah.
Um, have you ever met any Clapper friends?
Yes. They're all on my penis. I've had them sign the penis. So the only people I have met is from my state. Um, one, two, three, four people I've met from my state. And there's more here too, but I just haven't met them yet.
Yeah. I assume that you have other Clapper friends that if you had the opportunity, you'd like to meet them.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah. There's a lot of good people on here.
Yeah. The possibility of meeting me could happen since my best friend lives in Bedford, as you and we discussed before.
Yeah, yeah.
So, uh, Peter came in, so he wants to know if you've ever been to the UK or South Africa because he wasn't here to hear what you answered
Yeah.
before.
No, I haven't, Peter. Only place out of the country I've actually been is Jamaica.
That's not a bad place to visit.
No, I've been there multiple times too.
Mohammed, welcome in. He asked how are you, so I'll let you answer since you're my
Uh,
guest for the
I'm well, my friend.
we are I'm doing well as well, Mohammed. Uh, today is my day off from exercise. I've six days in a row I've burned a day off, I think. I'll be back going to it hardcore again tomorrow though.
You know what, Tank? I actually remember I had mentioned to you that I had stopped exercising and walking and all that.
Yeah,
Today I made it a point to do it, and I walked for about an hour. No, not an hour, a mile. But it's a
right.
start. And yeah,
Oh
Kevin
yeah,
was on radio with me this morning, and that's what I did. Getting back into it.
that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So Rose wants to know, Ms. Red Rose, is there anything about you that you wish people took time to understand?
My attitude. I don't have one. It's just the way I am. I might look like I'm mean sometimes. Like I get this in real life too. People think I'm unapproachable because I have a serious face, but really I'm a fucking joker. You guys have seen me. They take me too serious when I joke sometimes because I'll make it look like I'm serious. So I wish I didn't have resting bitch face, basically.
I get that, but I have it. I got it from my mother. My daughters have it.
Yeah.
Um, it's one of those things. Um, yeah. So, but I absolutely understand, and I have taken the time to get to know you, Jimmy, and you're a really absolutely amazing guy.
Thank you. I appreciate
Definitely a good friend to have. So Ted wants to know what's the biggest surgery that you've had and why.
it. I've only had one surgery, and it was my heart. And because I was having heart failure due to my valve, I needed valve replacement. So one of the biggest heart surgeries, yeah. One of the biggest is a heart surgery.
How long was your recovery?
They gave me 3 months. A little after the 3 months, I was still having a few issues with a little bit of pain. I couldn't pick up things that were too heavy. So I want to say my recovery has lasted till now because
Oh, that's fair.
every day you feel something different. Like right now, I'm feeling like, I don't know, I'm not happy with the way the bone has healed in there or the cartilage or whatever. There's always going to be something, you know what I mean? So you're constantly healing. And actually, I'm getting better. And you may have seen that you got better through the time that you've recovered. You know what I mean? You're
You
going to
know,
see a lot of differences in yourself.
but I
Watch.
get that not being a fake because, like, the scar is still pretty fresh for me. It's only 4 months old, and I can feel the breastbone, and it's not all smooth healed like you would think it would be. I can feel
Exactly.
some of the bumps in there, and it's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
So did you
Uh,
have wire put into yours?
I honestly don't know. I'd have to ask my surgeon how he
I
mended the breastbone.
So what they did with me was when they put it back together, they put wire around it and they twisted it like bread ties. I think
Right?
there's a series that I'm going down, and I can actually feel one right around here. I can feel it touching out. So
Oh,
it's kind of
that's weird.
freaky. And I have an
I
X-ray of it
have to
too on my
ask.
phone.
Either wanted to know if you own any guns.
No,
Okay. Miss Red Rose would like to know who has influenced you the most in your life.
probably my father. I would say my father. I was very close with the guy. Um, he died when I was 19, but I took a lot of the values he taught me into my adulthood, and that's probably why I am the person I am today.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Um,
Keep in mind, my parents were divorced, so I used to go to my father's every weekend.
yeah, my parents were divorced when I was like 8,
Yeah,
so I
I
get
was
it.
young too. Yeah.
Um, I'd like to take a minute, if you don't mind, and announce that my guest next week, May the 3rd, is one of the interviews I've been most looking forward to. My guest will be Ronan Saga. He is the primary mod in most of my lives. He's the guy that keeps it cleaned up. He is a rock star. If you guys don't know him, he's a fabulously talented musician, songwriter, and singer. And if you don't know him, check him out and definitely be there next week for that interview. And I appreciate you letting me take a minute to do that. Now, Kevin wants to know, I suspect this might become a regular question for him in my interviews. He wants to know, what is a blue waffle? Asking for a friend.
All right. Can I just show you? Kevin, I mean, why you ask this question all the time, Kevin?
And that's still too much, seeing it too much. Just
Sorry.
saying. Oh, you're good.
He asked.
What is a packy?
It's a liquor store.
Oh, okay. Because one of the questions I came up with was, what's the best packy in your neighborhood?
I don't know because I don't drink. So I quit drinking years ago.
Peter asked, do you smoke 420?
Yes. Helps me sleep at night because I have a valve in my chest that makes a ticking noise that I hear. So it's constantly going tick, 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 tick.
Okay, that makes sense. Rose wants to know, what is a challenge that changed you?
What's a challenge that changed me? Being on my own. So my parents both died before I actually reached I reached full adulthood with my mother, but she died when I was 29. I'm 49 now. So I feel like I'm an orphan, I guess you could say. So that was a challenge in itself was, cause like I'm also divorced, but I don't live with my son, so I have family, but I just say that that's one of the biggest hurdles in life is like being on your own, kind of. It's lonely. It sucks, but it is what it is. I do it.
Yep, that makes sense to me. I'll go ahead and ask this again, Karen. It was asked earlier in the interview, but you weren't here. She wants to know, what would you tell your 18-year-old self today?
Save money. Like I said earlier, save money. Definitely.
Yep.
That would be it. Be more
Well, I
smart.
didn't anticipate your answer would change, but for Karen's benefit, because she came late,
Yeah, I get it.
that's why I asked it again. No problem, Karen. I try to be congenial with everybody in the live, not just the guests. So,
right.
um, this is probably going to sound like a weird question, but I like it. What is the most Massachusetts thing about where you're from?
Our accent. I would say
Definitely.
that's the most Massachusetts thing that you know where I'm from once you hear me open my mouth.
Right.
Yeah. The people here. That's it. Yeah.
I'm going to have to start making a list of Peter questions. So if he comes in for the interview, I can ask him all one shot. He wants to know, do you drink moonshine or Everclear? He just said he
Neither.
doesn't really drink.
Water or oil-based lube. I would go with water-based oil if I don't want to lose any skin.
Miss Red Rose would like to know, what kind of impact do you want to have on others?
A positive impact. That's why lately I've been trying to change. Rose knows me from back in the past too. I used to be an asshole. I want to leave a positive impact. I don't want people to remember me as so when I do go as the asshole. You know what I mean? I want people to remember little moments with me. I'm not trying to make a big impact in this world, but what little impact I can make means a lot. That's what I think.
Yeah, I get that. I just want people to
like you.
not even that so much. But I believe life is too short to be negative, to be ugly to other people. That's why I am how I am.
I would
and
say
I
I
just want
really
people.
matured into that after my surgery. I really matured my life into that state of thought,
Yeah, and that I mean, any kind of surgery where they open your chest up, that's a life changing thing.
Yeah, and it's scary.
More than just the physical issues you go through. So yes,
Right.
it scared the hell out of me before the surgery, but
Yeah.
The morning of, I finally accepted it. I might or might not wake up, but it was out of my hands, so it was silly to worry about it.
Yeah.
Kim Kidd asked, "What's your favorite snack?"
I like to eat, as the English say, crisps. Crisps. I like potato chips.
Chips.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like them, but the only kinds I really eat now are if they have no salt at all.
Me
So there's
too.
not a whole lot that I can eat.
I will
I
eat a
love
few here and there, but
I love this question from Paul. He wants to know if you could have one moment with someone you lost, who would it be with?
my brother.
When did you
You
lose him?
know, 2012, he was 38 years old. He died of a heart attack in his sleep. Yeah,
That's rough. Sorry, brother.
yeah.
Uh, Red Rose, another great question. How would your closest friend describe you?
Probably my closest friend would describe me exactly how you guys see me. I am no different in real life than I am on here. Except for when I'm at work. I have to kind of curb myself, you know what I mean? But I still fuck around with my supervisors, so they know how I am.
Right on.
I'm the same way in real. Make your judgment. You know what I mean, based off of this, because this is how I am in real life. My friends
Yeah.
will see me the same way.
And there's enough people off of Clapper that have met me that can tell you I don't change who I am
Yeah,
because we're meeting in person. I'm still who I am. So
yeah,
uh, Peter wants to know, do you like roast dinners?
I do, but I don't eat a lot of red meat. So yeah,
Well,
I
red meat tends to be more fatty than like chicken and pork.
I have gout,
Um,
so I
well,
can't
there's that.
really. Yeah,
Well, and that's probably the part of the red meat that makes your gout worse.
yeah,
One of the reasons I do eat red meat, but not as much. Uh, and I tend to a lot of the leaner meats for the heart health.
yeah,
The fact that they're healthier for all people, not just people with heart issues.
yeah.
You know,
That's true.
venison and elk are both good meats too.
I've never
Terry,
had them. I always want to try it, but I don't know. I'm kind of iffy.
this is a new question, and I'll probably ask it again in future interviews. Who would you recommend to sit in your spot right now and be interviewed?
Honestly, Graham down in the comments, Boss Freestyle Life 40, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, him.
Well,
He's a good guy.
if we
He
can
really
get him
is.
to commit to a date, if we can get him to commit to a date, I would absolutely love to interview him.
Yeah, he would be a good guy. He'd be
All
an
right,
excellent interview.
that's the questions for today. Because I finish every interview by offering whoever my guest is today, it's you, that to do a shout out for whoever or whatever you want.
Well, I'd like to shout out all my friends on Clapper that follow me and come into my lives all the time. I really appreciate it. It just shows that you guys are more than just there for whatever little gossipy bullshit. You guys are there for real. So I want to say thank you to them. And Rose, to answer your question, it's loyalty. I like loyalty in my truth, stuff like that. That's what I like in a friendship.
I'm glad you caught that because I didn't.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good question.
but I like to follow up by shouting out first and foremost, Fear the Reaper, my friend Paul. He screen records every week. Um, we're a team in this, and I couldn't do it without him. So I appreciate Paul very much. Also, Bugs. Bugs comes and she pins the questions, so it
Yeah,
keeps them from being overpinned. When you have more than one person pinning, that can happen. Also, Ronan being he is my top mod always. Um, him and Tabby whenever Tabby's available. Um, and I appreciate you guys that come and not just support me and doing these interviews, but you're coming and supporting the great people I interview, like Jimmy here. I've been looking forward to this interview since he agreed to do it. I had my questions ready like 3 weeks ago, and I'm constantly blown away by the quality of the people that are agreeing to sit down and let me ask them questions for an hour. Um, you're truly an amazing person and a great friend, Jimmy, and I appreciate you. And
thank you.
hopefully, I'll get a chance to meet you face to face at some point whenever I get out to Massachusetts again.
Yeah, definitely.
And with that, guys, it's been a great interview. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you guys around Clapper.
Bye, everybody.